Well, welcome everybody to the last session in our 2-week Healthy Bodies Challenge. We hope this has been a really great experience for you. Just more than anything, creating awareness about the areas in our life that we want to improve, the areas that we can be feeling more healthy, the habits that maybe we haven't been aware of that are contributing to us not feeling as well on a daily basis. And tonight, what I really want to talk to you about is health beyond a diet plan. So, had actually a lot of conversations with people this week, just talking to them about their experiences with different diets in the past. And so many people have done the things so many times. Like, I've done this diet, I've done this program, and I tried doing this. And everybody has this kind of laundry list of things that was a set of rules or ideas to follow for a period of time. And then it's like, well, then what? Right? Like, what's the long game of that? So, oftentimes, when we think about weight loss or we think about being healthy or we think about some sort of diet change, it's more of a short term. And I think we often have the idea that maybe we'll continue some of those concepts, but a lot of the things are overly restrictive or just not really teaching you how to implement them in your life. And that makes it really hard to make that transition from diet to your life. And that's why so many people end up falling off and end up falling back into old patterns. And that's why, even just in this program, we didn't really dive too deep into nutrition because there's so much. And we really just gave you that first step. But the first step that's oftentimes missed is just understanding how we're supposed to be balancing our day and how we're supposed to be balancing our plate. So tonight I want to talk just a little bit about what it means to be healthy for life, what it means to really continue being a healthy person after this program or after you make changes and be sustainable with that. So the first thing I want you to challenge you to think about is just asking yourself the question, like, taking that step back and saying, this week, what are some things that I really thought about as I was going through this process, and what were some things that were brought to light? Maybe it was, although I want to work out, it's it's a harder reality than I thought because maybe my home gym's not set up, or maybe I, haven't carved out that time yet, or whatever factors there are. Or maybe it's, I'm struggling with getting enough protein or getting enough vegetables, or I'm struggling with taking meals with me when I go places. And there's just a lot of logistics we have to figure out. So, really, a huge part of sustaining healthy habits is, yes, we have our healthy habits, but then it's understanding how we're going to make it work in our life long term. So, I want you guys to just spend some time, this challenge. I don't want this to be the end for you. I want it to be the beginning of you creating awareness and being okay with that uncomfortable adjustment period enough and pushing through to get comfortable with it and get through that adjustment phase to where this becomes a new norm for you. So it might feel uncomfortable, for example, to have to think about breakfast if you didn't used to eat a consistent breakfast, or eat more for breakfast in the morning, or get more protein in the morning. But after you do it for a couple weeks, honestly becomes very normal. And the people who are successful long term are the ones who persevere through that uncomfortable adjustment phase versus, I'm going to do something I hate. I'm not really going to fit it in my life. I'm just going to do it as a means to an end. And then I'm going to go back to doing what I was doing before. Or I just abandon ship altogether because it seems too hard. So, one of the things that I do as I coach people is always looking for solutions whenever there's a roadblock. So there's almost always a solution, and that's what we have to help coach you through. There's not one right way to do something. So we can take our ideal plan and we can flex it to fit your schedule, to fit your life, to fit your food preferences so that you can stay consistent long term. And I think that's an important thing to realize so that you don't feel defeated and like, oh my gosh, I can't stick with this long term. So, one thing I want to go back over, I know we talked a little bit about this at the beginning, and so much of nutrition is mindset, as many of you have figured out, especially after years and years of one way of thinking. But what I really want to leave you with after this Healthy Bodies Challenge and moving forward is this awareness of the identities that we take on around food. So, through this whole challenge, we've been trying to encourage you to take on the identity of a healthy person. We've been posting in the Facebook group, these are the habits of healthy people. And healthy people in general do the healthy things because it's just what they do, it's just part of who you are. And that does not happen overnight. So, again, don't get discouraged with yourself if you're not there yet. You're not expected to be there right away. We all build our identities over time. But so many of us are dragging in what we call these old identities into our new lifestyle. And that honestly is the barrier that keeps us from being fully successful and fully taking on new identities. So, some of the things I hear, and honestly, a lot of these were just things I heard from people this week, just talking to them. So people, I'm a sugar addict. I love carbs. That's why I can't lose weight. I love sugar. That's why I can't lose weight. I'm just a runner or a yogi and I don't like strength training. That's why I kind of put that on there. So those are fine things to be. But if you're using that identity as I can't do other types of fitness, that's going to hold you back from success or enjoying other types of fitness, even. Yo-yo dieters are a really common one. When you've been on and off different diets, you've never fully established a food identity. And that's what we're trying to do this week. We're trying to help you understand what is a healthy diet and how to establish that healthy person consistently. So you're not a little bit keto, a little bit Whole30, a little bit Weight Watchers, a little bit Noom. You are a healthy person that just eats well consistently. Busy is another one I hear a lot. I'm just so busy and that's why I can't be healthy. So you're taking this identity of like busyness and you're finding security in that. So anytime you quote unquote fall off the wagon or fail on a diet, you can fall back on that old identity. It's like a safety net. Oh, I'm just busy. That's why I couldn't do it. And you're comfortable in that zone. So creating a new identity is uncomfortable because it is like death to the old identity, but it's also taking away that safety net and allowing yourself to go back to it, which feels uncomfortable if you've done that for many years and years and you've had that identity. Another one I hear a lot is like, I don't like a lot of protein or I don't like vegetables. And, you kind of hide behind that as to why you can't be successful. But again, we can always get creative and find new ways to incorporate those healthy foods so that you can still stick with it. Picky eater is one that I hear a lot, and it's actually really interesting. A lot of people get this identity from when they're younger, and they take it with them as they age, and they still, as an adult, are calling themselves a picky eater. And really is to a point where they just haven't even tried new foods because they were told for so long that they were a picky eater. So if you have children, I would very much encourage you not to use that language around them. It can really stick with you the rest of your life, but really understanding that you don't have to be a picky eater anymore. And just because you have certain flavor or preferences and texture doesn't mean you're picky. It just means you have preferences. And then work on expanding your diet from there. I can't stick with anything. A lot of times we hide behind that. Like, I'm not even going to try because I can't follow through. But honestly, a lot of it is just not having the right plan. Maybe I have anxiety around food. Maybe I have a diagnosis. And I want to mention this because sometimes when we don't feel well or, our labs are off, we look, we're going to doctors looking for solutions. And when you finally hear, like, okay, you have a thyroid issue, it's like, oh, okay, that's why I'm so tired. That's why I can't lose weight. And we kind of hide behind that. Well, and I have had people, a lot of people say this to me, like, well, I have a thyroid issue. And it's like almost an excuse as to why they can't be healthy. And I want you to know that even if you have a diagnosis, all everything we're talking about is only going to help in those situations. It's not a hindrance. So if you have a GI issue, if you have a genetic risk for something, if you have a hormonal imbalance, if you have some sort of injury, like, oh, a lot of people say, I have a bad knee or I have a bad ankle. You don't have a bad joint. Maybe it's been damaged at that point, but maybe it was never trained properly. So now it's giving you chronic issues. And again, there's a lot we can actually do to reverse that. So when you have a diagnosis, instead of feeling like it's an identity, I want you to just take it as information and then realize that being a healthy person can change that diagnosis or improve it. I mean, and of course, there's situations where that's not the case, but for a lot of the diagnoses that people are dealing with, they can be impacted by the lifestyle changes we're talking about. So, healthy habits of a healthy person, that's what we're aiming for, is consistency over time. And that can change your story, that can change your identity. So, the key as we're talking about this bridge from, okay, I have these new concepts, I'm trying to make these habit changes. How do I bridge into actually being a healthy person long term? And it's that consistency. Consistency will change your story. If you continue to fall back on those old identities, though, that's inconsistency and it's going to make you feel defeated. But the small inputs consistently over time, we slowly build new habits. That's going to change your story because it's going to change your health. It's going to change your reality. It's going to change your experience with food. So, this is a really important concept to ground and anchor in if we want to continue seeing results past programs, after this 2 week program, after a 12-week program, after a diet. We have to keep that healthy person mindset, not, I can't wait till I get off this diet. And I think where a lot of diets have failed people, though, is that they're not extremely enjoyable all the time, or maybe you're not even seeing results with the diet. And I'm hearing that a lot too. Like, I'm doing the things I used to, I'm not seeing any progress or weight loss. And that's the problem. So then you get discouraged. So, our way of incorporating nutrition and fitness and our eating plan is very much rooted and grounded in for the people who do struggle to lose weight, and it's going to help move you in the right direction so that you also stay motivated to be a healthy person by the results that you're seeing and you feel better on a daily basis too. So what I want you to start establishing is being on your diet versus a diet. So your diet is just how you eat on a daily basis. So for me, for example, I have kind of some go-to things that I always have that are similar, my first couple meals in the day. And then I have, a similar type of snack in the afternoon. And then I have kind of a repertoire of dinners that I make. But when I go into other situations, like I go to a family event, I still eat very similar to the way that I eat when I'm at home. It's not like an excuse to just eat differently because I'm not on a diet. I have established my diet. So, for example, when we went to a family's over the weekend for a meal, there was a whole extended family there. I brought a pan of roasted vegetables to share just to make sure we had enough food to eat. There was a big salad, they had asparagus, and then they had a chicken and ham. So they had two protein options. And I had chicken, and then I had my vegetables and asparagus and salad. And I had a ton of food. I was really full. Like, my plate was loaded with vegetables, right? But they also had like four different casseroles and bread and all these other things too. But when I am thinking about just my diet, that's the things I would choose at home, and that's what I like to eat at this point. Like, it makes me feel good. I'm full and satisfied. I don't have sugar cravings later because I'm getting a blood sugar spike. I'm not sitting on the couch afterwards like, "Oh my gosh, I feel so miserable." So I've established my diet based on what makes me feel good, what helps me maintain a healthy weight, what helps me maintain my lean mass, what helps me have energy and just be mentally focused and present on a daily basis. And I don't have symptoms from my diet. So, your healthy diet is what works with your body and what makes you feel good. And all of us have different, health things going on or different goals. So, for some of you, if you have, for example, like insulin resistance or blood sugar imbalance, things that are healthy for you might be different than what are healthy for somebody else. So, that's why we have to like understand what's healthy for our bodies and find that homeostasis. But when we keep trying to grasp at what's working for other people and like we're like addicted to this information, well, what are they doing? What are they eating? How are they doing it? That's helpful. But I think one thing I really see, especially in like the social media realm and online, you see people who are already in shape, are already exercising regularly, and they're already a healthy weight, and they're telling you what it's okay to eat. And like, it's okay to have these things, and I have this, and I do this, and this is what I do. And again, it's helpful, but it's based on their body where they're at. So when we're talking about your diet, we want to establish your diet where you're at today and what we're going to do long term. So when we're talking about your healthy diet, it's just the way you eat. It's consistent. It's learning how to balance that balanced plate, how to apply that to different situations. And then you're just doing that consistently, whether you're on a trip, whether you're at a dinner with friends, whether you're at a family event, whether you're just cooking dinner for yourself or your family, you have that consistency. So consistency is really kind of the key term that we're going to keep hearing over and over again versus dieting, which is trying to eat healthy, but it might feel like a list of rules or restrictions, and you're really just trying to manipulate your food, like how many of this calories can I eat to still fit in my points or my calorie count for the day, or how can I bump up my protein? They'll shove some random protein drinks in or something just to hit those numbers. That's not understanding how to really nourish your body. So we really want to stick to that meal patterning and that consistency. And that's going to help you establish your diet versus being on a diet. And when you establish your diet, it's something that's sustainable for you. It's something that you're comfortable with. It's something that you enjoy. It's something that you know how to have flexibility with in various situations. And then when you come back from the family event or the vacation or the work trip or whatever it is, you just get right back on your diet. You don't have to get back on the wagon and refocus and all this stuff, because there's just this seamless transition because you are who you are in every situation. Now that's the end game. And I know most of you might not be there right now. Some of you might be there, but some of you might not be. But I want you to know that that's possible for you. I want you to know that you can establish being a healthy person and having a healthy diet. And that's what's not really taught in most weight loss programs that most of you maybe have done or heard about. You're not taught that sustainability piece and how to really eat consistently on a daily basis versus just follow these lists of rules and you don't really know why you're doing it or what you're doing it. It may or may not be right for your body, right? And that's why people end up diet hopping, because they're looking for that magic solution when really the solution is this consistency of kind of the way that we're talking about eating, where we're not spiking our blood sugar, we're balancing our day, we're balancing our plate, and we're doing that on a regular basis. It can be that simple. So just a brief overview, and I know I've touched on a lot of these concepts, especially in the first week, but just kind of breaking down like, well, what is a healthy diet? How do I be, if I'm going to be a healthy person, what is a healthy diet? So, healthy diet, again, consistently. So, you're consistently eating to your particular energy needs, you're consistently hitting your protein goals. And I see this in some people when maybe they're like, I'm trying to eat more protein, for example. And then I look at their food logs and it's like, some days they're hitting their goals and then some days they're like off by 50 grams of protein. So there's just a lot of inconsistencies. Another inconsistency that people have is from the week to the weekend. So you might be really frustrated because you're working really hard during the week, trying to be good or whatever it is, eat less, be really diligent. But then on the weekend, maybe Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which is a good chunk of the week, you're actually eating more calories than you should. If you're trying to lose weight, you're not in a deficit anymore. Maybe you're not hitting your protein goals. Maybe you're getting more calories from alcohol and you're not drinking water. So there's a lot of inconsistency in your diet. You're still like fighting for that old lifestyle. So the question is, how do we take these healthy concepts and still hit our goals and apply them over the weekend, even, or in those other situations? So healthy diet is going to be high in fiber. And this is super important. I think one of the factors that makes or breaks any diet, whether we're talking about like someone who's on a vegan diet or someone who's on like a meat eating diet, is the fiber. And you can do either diet healthfully in theory if you have the right types of foods. And that's where we want to be including a lot of the vegetables. We want to be including nuts and seeds. If you're eating grains, eating whole grains, starchy vegetables, fruits, natural foods that are high in fiber. And when we're getting fiber, we're hitting our fiber goals at every meal and hitting our goal for the day, that constitutes a healthy diet. And we know that these types of things help prevent disease and they help keep our bodies healthy. So fiber is one of the modifiable factors that we want to increase in our diets. Quality protein sources, making sure we're hitting protein, balanced meals, making sure that we're not just, eating a big plate of pasta or just eating a big piece of meat or just eating a salad. I see this on a lot of people's vlogs. It's like, I have a big salad and sometimes I'm putting protein on it, sometimes I'm not. So it's like, if you just eat a big bowl of lettuce for lunch, that's going to hold you over for about an hour and then you're going to be hungry again and you're going to be craving those sugars. So balancing meals is really important so that we're staying consistent in our blood sugar regulation and we're not having those ups and downs throughout the day. Healthy diet is going to limit alcohol. A healthy person is going to be drinking water and hydrating throughout the day. Healthy diet constitutes whole foods versus processed foods. So more whole unprocessed foods or very minimally processed foods, as we would label them, versus the foods that have a lot of the oils and things in them. And this is where diets can really trick you. You can buy the Weight Watchers products, the Atkins products, the low carb products, the keto products. But really all it is a bunch of artificial ingredients conglomerated together to achieve a certain calorie and macronutrient distribution. So they'll do whatever it takes, add or take away whatever in that food to get this much protein and only this many carbs or only this much sugar. But at what cost, right? Is it even nourishing to your body at that point? So food is information for your body. And when we're talking about a healthy diet, we want to make sure that the information we're giving our body is giving it something of value, not just empty energy that's not going to do anything. Okay. And then, of course, someone who's eating a healthy diet would be avoiding added sugars. And the only person that's not going to have cravings if you're eating correctly throughout the day. Most cravings are coming from lack of protein, lack of vegetables, and slow digesting carbohydrates and blood sugar lows. A couple hours after you eat, you're spiking your blood sugar and crashing, so you feel like you're grazing all day. So just grazing on food all day to eat less is not the right way to lose weight. We want to have good nourished meals so that we're not hungry and just like trying to get through the day with as little as possible. We want consistent information and we want to nourish our body. So food is information. Give it that consistent, high quality information, fiber, vitamins and minerals, protein, good quality carbohydrates, good quality fats, limiting alcohol, limiting sugar, whole foods, and your body's going to function a lot better. When we function better, then we sleep better, then we feel better, then we lose weight. Okay. So all those things start to fall in line when you're consistent with your healthy diet. So consistency really requires making it a priority. And I know I talked about this in previous seminars, but priority is that word that we want to come back to because if we are again hiding behind those old identities, we're allowing those to be more of a priority than our health. And really, what is your health worth, right? It's worth a ton when you don't have it. You know, you'll go to all the doctor's appointments and do all the treatments and take all the medications and do all the diets and crazy things when your health is taken away from you. But what if we could prevent having to get to that point, right? If we could apply those healthy habits each day consistently, we make it a priority for this, again, bigger vision for our life of being a healthy person. And I want to have energy and I want to do the things I love. I want to go on the hikes and the vacations and be able to wake up early in the morning and not feel like I'm dragging all day. So keeping that bigger why, when we're talking about how do I keep these habits going, that's the problem when we start a lot of things like Weight Watchers. Your why might literally only be to lose weight. It might be that you don't feel well, but we want to make sure that your why becomes more than just the pounds on the scale because the why is more about this bigger vision for your life. It's about how you feel on a daily basis. It's about your energy. So I want you to remember how food impacts your body. And when you can think about that, like, man, that piece of cake used to be so valuable to me. Those cookies in the afternoon used to be so valuable to me. But now when I eat them, I feel really anxious and jittery, and I'm aware of that now because now I'm a healthy person. And then I crash my blood sugar and I'm like craving more sugar in a few hours, and I just feel sluggish and heavy. And I don't want to feel like that. And that's that bigger why. So letting your healthy habits be driven by this bigger why for your life because it's a priority for you. It's the number one priority is your health. So if your health is your motivator and you keep in mind how these foods are impacting your body and how well you feel when you eat well consistently, that will drive you to go from on a diet to this is my diet. And there's a point, honestly, I've had so many people get to this point and it's so wonderful. And I myself have gotten to this point where it's just like, I don't honestly care about the things that I used to care about so much, the things that I used to think I love so much, those little treats and indulgences. And I know it seems crazy, but you absolutely can get there. And I have so many clients that get here because you feel so nourished, your body gets back in balance. You just don't want to go back to that life anymore because you've lived on the other side and realized how great it can be. So the more consistent you are, the more likely you are to get to that place. But when you always have that one foot in the diet pool and then the other foot in the healthy living pool, you're always going to be fighting that old identity and you're not going to be able to be as consistent. And then you're going to be frustrated with yourself because maybe you really tried that day, but you were only 70% and you just didn't do that 100%. So then you feel like the whole day is a waste, although it's not. Something's better than nothing, but it's just hard if you aren't consistent, if you're still living that double life we're struggling with identity. So the sooner you can get to a place where you just say, I'm a healthy person and I'm going to do the things and I'm going to jump in, the more successful that you're going to be long term. And honestly, the easier it's going to be for you because you're in line with that bigger vision for your life. So I would encourage you all as we kind of wrap up this 2 week program to ask yourself that question again, like, what is my reason for doing this? What's that bigger reason? And did I get some negative lab work from the doctor that I'm concerned about? And I value my health and I don't want that to go downhill. Do I wake up in the morning and I don't have energy, or I don't have energy to run around with my kids or my grandkids? Or do I have headaches all the time? Or, whatever it is for you that's holding you back from living life how you know it could be. That's what we want to really lean into as we kind of leave this program, that's our why. That's what we're going to stay in line with. So I want to give a couple examples of this consistency piece. And in our 12-week program, we spend a whole week talking about consistency and how to apply this healthy eating style to every situation. But I want to give you guys a couple practical applications so that you can see what I mean when we're talking about like a healthy person versus someone who's just on a diet. So the first example is going to be, let's say you come home from a vacation or a work trip. And I bring up this because this is a conversation that in my coaching business, I have with almost all of my clients as they maybe are traveling for work or going somewhere with their family. This because I've seen time and time again when people come back from a trip or vacation or something, this is where they get off. It takes them weeks and weeks to get back on track. So I've seen this pattern long enough now that I realize there's an intervention opportunity that until you're really established in that healthy person identity, this can be tricky. So here's an example. You're coming home from a vacation or work trip, instead of just like coming home and then hiding under this excuse of, well, I don't have any food and we had to eat out all week and I was busy with work, and just like letting all of life pile on you as you have nothing prepared. The question would be, even before you leave for the trip, what actions would a healthy person take in advance to avoid grabbing fast food the night when I come home and to avoid being off the entire next week? What little things do I need to put in place so that I'm ready for that next week? So, a couple things that I have my clients do. Well, one, remembering why you're doing it. Your motivator is going to be that I don't want that whole week to feel chaotic, and I don't want it to be like a 1 week vacation becomes like a 4 week vacation because I just can't get my life together again. And when you have these baby habits, it can be challenging. But one thing that I have my clients do is go ahead and like plan that dinner for when you come home that night and what that's going to look like. Whether it is eating out, but it's very intentional about where you're eating. Maybe you keep something in the freezer that you can just pull out and heat up really quickly. So that first meal is established. Maybe you stop and pick up a rotisserie chicken on the way home. So you have protein and you grab some spinach and you make a salad type of thing, like something really easy. Something I did when we went on vacation, we were gone for a week a few weeks ago, and I bought some like chicken sausages and I put them in my freezer so those are easy to thaw because they're thin. So I could pull them out right when we got home. Our flight wasn't getting in till later, and we weren't going to get home until about 6 o'clock. And I had a head of cabbage in my fridge, which cabbage is good for a long period of time. So all I had to do was chop it up and throw it in the oven, and it cooks in like 25, 30 minutes. And I can't remember what else I made, but it was just all real quick and easy so that I didn't even skip a beat. And then I was able to get to the grocery store the next day, and we had things like eggs in our fridge because those last for a while. So we didn't have to get off of our normal plan. So it's that foresight. Another thing I have a lot of clients do, if they know that they're gonna be coming in and then having to get right back into their work week, it's like, go ahead and just do a click list in advance. Order your groceries, have them ready to go, place the order for when you get home, and just pick up your groceries on the way home or that next morning or something, so that you don't have to put in that mental energy and get organized. So when you're taking on that identity of a healthy person, you are having a little bit of foresight. And really, how much extra energy did it take for me to pick up a cabbage and a package of chicken broths at the grocery store? Basically none, right? It took almost no extra energy for me to do that. But I've done it long enough now that I know the things to do. And that's just part of becoming a healthy person. It's just having the foresight to just quickly put those things in place to where this just feels normal and easy. So that's a way we can still have consistency, because the reality is life is not perfect Monday through Thursday or Monday through Friday. And, everything's like that all the time. And even if we have control, then normally during our work week, the weekend might be different, or we might be on a vacation. So we can't just expect our Monday through Friday normal, consistent schedule all the time. We have to understand how to keep it going in every situation. Another example is going to be going out to dinner with friends or at a work dinner. Everybody freaks out about this. Like, oh my gosh, I have a work dinner. What do I do? Or I have a happy hour. What do I do? What do I choose? And, that's a whole like drinks and alcohol. That's a whole nother topic for another day. Again, we talk more about that in our 12-week program. But I just want to give like an example of going out to dinner. So honestly, I just like take a step back and I'm like, this is super easy. You don't have to freak out about this at all. Now, there are certain situations like if it's pure bar food and everything's fried, or it's like a pizza only joint. I mean, some things can get a little bit trickier, but for the most part, if you are going out to dinner with friends or you're going out for a work dinner, all you have to do is picture that healthy plate, right? So just go back to that graphic that I shared with you guys initially, and all you have to think is protein and vegetables, right? Okay, what on the menu can I get? Salmon, boom. What has vegetables? Here we go. This, you can get these vegetables with it. And then, oh, I see you have another vegetable on the menu as an option. Maybe I'll get that one as well in place of the rice or in place of the starch. So easy, right? That's all you have to do. Almost any legitimate restaurant you go to these days has some sort of workable option. Okay. So, like, I went to brunch with my friends a few weeks ago, and, there's pancakes and breakfast sandwiches and all these other options on there. And they also had some more brunch lunch items. So I just went for those where it was like a salad bowl and it had like salad greens and quinoa. And then I added the protein to it. So it didn't come with protein. I was like, it was an option to add chicken. So I added chicken, and then it had a bunch of other vegetables mixed in with like a vinaigrette. Super easy, right? Everyone else is eating breakfast sandwiches and pancakes, and I'm just eating this. I don't care. That's what I like. That's what my body feels good with. No one else cares what I'm eating. I don't care what they're eating. No one's going to judge you for eating healthy. And if they are, that's their own insecurities. So just choose the things on the menu. Always just let your eyes go to those things. There's a really cool little story. There's a couple. We are just finishing up our last cohort of our 12-week program this week, and our next one starts next week. But there's a couple in our 12-week program, and before our 12-week program, like, and they'll tell you this, they were eating out like for almost every meal, like maybe skipping breakfast. They were going out for lunches. They were out for dinner. They were barely cooking at home. And they jumped in full force and they're like, we're going to do this. Like, we're going to change our life. And they started cooking. They started doing everything. Um, Here we are at the end of the program. The husband's lost like 32 pounds. She's lost, I think, 22 pounds. And like they've completely changed their life. But the story I want to share is like they went out to a comedy show and you had to eat dinner there. And she was like, we looked at the menu and we didn't even look at the old things that we used to look at. Like, and we're talking about these people were self-admittedly like eating at McDonald's and fast food, and that's just the way they ate. They'd never tried anything before with nutrition. And now, in just a matter of it had been like 8 or 10 weeks at that point, they had completely changed the way they look at the menu. So if you put on the eyes to look for those options, look for the protein, look for the vegetables, get the double vegetables, follow the plate. They were like, we had a big salad with protein. It was delicious. We had a great time. We felt good. We didn't even look at the mac and cheese and all the other fried things that are on there because it's just not what they do anymore. They're like, it seems so foreign to even do that after that many weeks. So I just want to show you like what is possible when you are consistent and you really make it a value. You can absolutely apply this to different situations and be okay asking for those modifications because it's in line with your values. Okay. So I just want to remind you this healthy plate, and I wrote this up here, apply to all situations. So if you're going out to eat with friends, if you're at a family event, if you're just making dinner at home, you can apply this pattern to almost any meal. And even, but then I want to say, if for some reason it doesn't go as planned, like there are things that happen, or the menu wasn't what you thought it was, or the restaurant wasn't what you thought it was, and like you did the best you could, it's like, oh, well, right? Move on. Don't let that one experience ruin the rest of your week, the rest of your next day. It's like, it's okay, right? Just move on and make your next meal like you don't miss a beat. And that's the key to be a healthy person. It's not an all or nothing. It's a, I'm going to do my best to achieve this. I'm going to, unless it's like out of my control, I'm going to control what I can. And then if it's not perfect, I'll fix it like right when I get back. When I come back from the vacation, I'm going to do right what I was doing before. When I get the next meal after my work dinner, it's going to get back next morning, make my breakfast like normal, and I'm not going to skip a beat. So that's where the consistency piece is so key because it's not one event that throws you off, it's the compilation of events. So if you're not seeing weight loss, if you're not seeing, changes in your body, it's usually multiple things that are compiling. It's not just one eating out situation that really got you down. Okay, so I just want to remind you of that. And the last example I want to give is, maybe I'm gone all day, I'm working, I'm running errands, I'm at an event. So in order to be consistent, a lot of people use this language as like excuses why they can't be healthy or can't be consistent. Okay. So if you know you're going to be gone all day, if you're working, if you're running errands all day, if you're going to be gone at an event, again, it just takes that little bit of foresight. Say like, okay, what are my backup meals that I always have planned? Maybe it's like a protein shake, like we talked about in this challenge. Maybe it's like a salad that I pack, or just leftovers that I take, or something that I can take that doesn't have to be heated up. Or maybe I have some stuff in my fridge that I can just throw together and pack with me. And as long as I get my breakfast in, get my lunch, maybe pack a small snack, that's pretty much the whole day taken care of, right? Then you can come home and have your dinner. So don't let being busy or having events throw you off, because the meal patterning is just these blocks throughout our day, right? And we're just working on which block goes where. The time might shift a little, it might look a little different than normal. You can still get them in as long as you take them with you. Maybe that means like prepping it the night before, or getting up 5 minutes earlier and just making sure that you're packed and prepared, whatever that is. It's not allowing that to be an excuse to either not eat and then overeat later, or to eat something that you didn't want to eat. Okay. There's always an option to have that little bit of foresight. But again, these are skills that we just have to work on developing. You're not expected to learn these overnight, but you will develop them as you continue to implement these changes over time. It does become a lot easier, and it becomes more normal. So the benefits of a healthy lifestyle are really freedom from this diet mentality and not having to always feel like you're under some sort of restriction. It's like a self motivation. Like, I'm doing this because I want to, versus I'm being told I have to do this and I don't know why I'm doing it and I don't know if it's the right thing for me. It's understanding what's going to be best for your body and following through. Healthy lifestyle is going to give you less anxiety about what you eat. I was talking to someone this week, and how they were trying to kind of do this on their own. And they're like, it's just so stressful. Like, every time I eat, I'm like, oh, is this a healthy option? I don't know. Is this okay to eat? Is this going to mess with my blood sugar? Am I going to feel okay after this? Is this going to make me gain weight? Is this going to help me lose weight? That, I don't think people realize how much that mental script is going on in your head when you're trying to lose weight or be healthy. But if you don't have a plan or something that says, like, yes, these are the good things to eat and this is what you should eat, that anxiety is riddling you, and it's holding you back from actually being successful. So when we just are like, here, do this, do the things, here's the foods to eat, here's how I want you to eat, just then you can just go do it. And you're not wasting your time trying to find more information and look stuff up. It's just so much easier that way. Um, you're going to be free from always trying to lose that next 5 pounds, that next 10 pounds. You're going to be free from those extreme methods, those shakes, those weight loss methods. I met with a girl today, and it's like, she was only 27, but she'd been trying for many, many years to lose weight. And she has some specific things going on in her body that are making it hard, but no doctor or anyone had ever told her this information that I was sharing with her about, like, her insulin resistance and why that was making it hard for her to lose weight. And, I was like, she'd already done all these like extreme workouts and like fasting diets and very low calorie diets where she'd lose weight and then gain it all back. And I was like, gosh, I wish I met you 10 years ago before you had to go through all that, right? Because her life was just about trying to lose that weight, trying to lose that weight, trying to lose that weight, and never really had the right information. So she never really achieved that healthy lifestyle. It was always just like trying to hop from diet to diet, looking for the things that were going to help her. But when we get the right information, which is what I try to give you guys, you're going to find that weight loss and just being healthy becomes a lot easier. So you're going to know what foods to buy. You're going to know how to function. You're going to know how to plan your meals. You're going to know what to eat. My goal is that when you wake up in the morning, you have a very clear picture of what you can eat that day. And you can very easily put that mental picture together. And you're not questioning everything you're doing as to whether it's helping you or not. So having a plan is super important. So the thing I really want to leave you with as we kind of wrap up the Healthy Bodies Challenge is this really is possible for you. And I know so many of you are coming from experiences of maybe years of having excess weight or diet cycles that maybe just haven't been working for you, or losing and gaining weight. And you just kind of live under this, I'm not going to be successful, or I can't be successful because I haven't had success in the past. But what we're talking about here is something very different than like going on Weight Watchers. This is a total like mindset and lifestyle transformation to where you are learning to consistently eat well, and you end up feeling so good that you don't have any interest in really going back consistently anyways to the things that you were doing before. So a lot of people say, like, I'm not going to be successful because I love the carbs, because I can't stop eating sugar. It's just too hard to get enough protein, and other diets haven't worked for me. So this isn't going to work for me. And like, we tend to believe these things, or I just don't have time. We tend to start believing these things. Again, these are all safety nets we're giving ourselves. It's like an out we're giving ourselves. But if you jump in and you're like, this is possible for me, I'm going to do it. I promise you, the people who do it 100% and are consistent, the results they get are just astonishing. Not just weight loss, but the energy, the rebalancing of hormones, the decrease in inflammation, the reversal of labs that are abnormal, how they just feel on a daily basis, better sleep, no more headaches, anxiety just goes away. And I'm don't even say that as like a crazy like selling point. It's just like truly people will say, I've had terrible anxiety and now it's going away, because we're nourishing our bodies in a way that now our body is more balanced. And it's just really cool. The stuff that maybe you've dealt with chronically for so long is going to reverse for you as you become a healthy person. So I put this little quote on here. I feel like it shouldn't be this easy. This is actually from a bridge version from one of our 12-week program participants. Again, we're wrapping up that session this week, and she has lost 20 pounds. I think she's lost like 20 pounds, but she specifically lost fat mass. Like Andy did a before and after analysis on body comp analysis on her, and she pretty much only lost fat, and she gained a pound of muscle, which is almost like unheard of. But why? Because she was doing the consistent workouts, strength training 3 times a week, and then she was eating correctly. She was eating the high protein. She was not veering from her plan. And she is someone who for years and years and years has tried to lose weight. She's done every diet you can possibly imagine. She's lost the weight, she's gained the weight, she's lost the weight, she's gained the weight. And it's never gotten to a point for her where it's really clicked. And she's like, I just can't believe how easy this feels now and how good I feel. Like her chronic sinus symptoms have gone away. She had a lot of joint pain that's gone away. So we got rid of a lot of her inflammation. And when you get to that point, you kind of cross that bridge and you're like, it feels easy and I feel so good. That's the clicking point when it's like, I have become a healthy person and I can be successful at this, because you're starting to experience it. And that was only over the course of, 12 weeks. So within 8 to 12 weeks, you can dramatically change your life. And I just want you to know that that's possible for you. And I think sometimes we hold ourselves back from what's possible because we don't fully believe that it could be our story. But I've seen it over and over and over again for people who are in that place of really feeling down and not like they can achieve it. And then they get there and it's like they come out of the darkness and they get the answers they need. So that's really cool. So I want to share with you guys some next steps really, and so that you can see, how you can really implement this in your life. So our 12-week program that I've been talking about a little bit is actually starting next week. We have another session starting, and we already have an amazing group signed up. So this program is really intended to take you from like, I can't lose the weight no matter what I'm doing. Maybe I'm exercising, or maybe I'm exercising inconsistently, but I'm moving my body more and I'm trying to eat better, but I'm still not losing any weight, or my metabolism feels really slow, or I have inflammation, or I have all these other like health problems that are starting to arise and I don't know what to do and nothing I'm trying is really working, this program is for you because we are really taking you to a place where your body is going to be healthy and you're going to become that healthy person. So it's a reworking of your mind, but it's also a reworking of your body by doing the right thing. So everybody really wants to feel comfortable and confident in your clothes. I'd say that's one of the number one things that I hear when I talk to women. I heard that a couple times today, actually, as I was talking to people. Like, I just want to feel better in my clothes. I want to feel confident in my body. You want to have energy to be with your family, whether it's your kids or your grandkids, or future kids, future grandkids. You want to have energy. You don't want to feel like you're just making it through the day. And that's not living, right? Like, this is your life. We want it to feel optimal. You want to feel calm and focused through the day. You don't want to feel like anxious or on edge. You want to have mental clarity and energy to really think and be you. You want to feel energized without crashing in the afternoon. You want to have good digestion, good sleep. You don't want to have headaches. You don't want to have inflammation in your body. So many things that people have disturbances with almost just feel normal because so many people have them, but it's really your body telling you that, hey, you're a little bit out of balance and I want to feel good. And this is something that's off. So we also want to feel like healthy eating is easy and sustainable. We don't want it to be something that we have to put so much energy into every week and like counting and all this stuff because that's not our life. We just want to learn to be healthy people and how to eat properly. So the Fit and Healthy for Life program is really for people who are really sick of not knowing what to follow with nutrition in general or for their specific body. You're not sure if the choices you're making are helping you with your goals. And I mentioned that a lot of times it creates anxiety when you're just like, I don't know if this is good or not. What should I be doing? Maybe you're struggling to lose the weight and you don't know why. And you feel like you're doing healthy things. You feel like you're eating healthy, but it's not working for you. Maybe you're being held back from the things you want to do in life because of your weight. Maybe you just feel tired or sluggish, or you're not able to move around as easily. You're not able to travel in the ways you want to. You're not able to do the things you want to do. Maybe you're struggling with health issues as a result of your lifestyle. So, most of the chronic issues that people are dealing with are related to diet and lifestyle factors. So, stress, lack of sleep, poor quality diet, too much sugar, not exercising, losing lean mass as we age. All these things are contributing to the things that we now call aging. And aging is real, but aging is happening way faster. I think the most annoying thing that I hear is when people in my peer group are like, oh, it's just because I'm getting so old. And they're like, not even 40 yet. And I'm like, this is not because you're old. It's because you are not living well. You're not feeling good on a daily basis because your inputs are not healthy. So age is a very relative thing. Like our body is going to age. And as we get older, we need to start like kind of being adults about how we take care of our body versus still doing some of the things that we did when we were younger. And we need to shift the way we care for ourselves. And that's just learning how to do that, really. Like no one really teaches you that. We just kind of go about our lives doing the things and trying different diets, but we really want to just learn how to care for our bodies. So maybe you've been unable to stay consistent with healthy habits in the past, or you're trying now and it's really hard to stay consistent. That's what this program is for. We're helping you establish that consistency in all situations so that you can be successful long term. And maybe workouts are another piece for you that feels inconsistent. You're feeling overwhelmed, like going to the gym, or, oh, I hear this a lot, like, oh, I could do this. I could join the rec center and go there. I could do these workout videos that I have, or there's this person I follow online. I could do their workouts. It's like, but you're not doing it, right? You're not doing it consistently. So what is the barrier there? And what kind of accountability do you need? So during this 12-week program, we make sure that you're staying consistent with those 3 times a week. And then you're getting the maximum results and you start feeling better overall. So in this Healthy Bodies Challenge, this first 2 weeks, we really focused on the mindset piece, right? I gave you guys some very first steps in terms of diet. We got you into the workouts and kind of gave you a taste of what that could look like in your life. There's still obviously logistics that always have to be worked out, but really we focused on developing that mindset of a healthy person versus a dieter and giving you a glimpse of what that could look like. What are these habits of healthy people? Like if remembering back through the whole challenge, we were posting on Facebook, this is what healthy people do, and really encouraging you to prioritize your health. But what you still need to master is knowing exactly what you need to do to lose weight and get your body healthy. So in our 12-week program, we really dive deep into my core method of eating, and we talk about what you should be eating, how you should be eating, how to apply the eating to different situations, how we should be structuring our day. what types of foods we should be choosing, and then methods to really strategize and work around it so that you're successful consistently. And then what we really focus on is building a strong, healthy body. So, with strength training, with high protein, with the right types of foods, with the right types of patterning, so you're not feeling like you're craving things. And then we're building the muscle so that your metabolism is now healthier and functioning better. So, we're building a strong, healthy body that is consistently going to become a healthy person. So, one thing that I would just want to touch on too, there's a difference between like teaching versus coaching. A lot of the information we take in is teaching. When you look up something on Google, that's teaching you something. When you look up and watch something online, it's teaching you something versus coaching. Coaching is actually taking a look at what you're doing specifically and giving you feedback and customization on how to change it so that you can be successful. So just taking in information is probably what you've been doing. And even a lot of diets are like teaching, teaching, teaching. It's not coaching you through the process. And that's really the difference in our 12-week program. We're helping coach you to make you better. So when we see you doing something, implementing incorrectly, you're not staying on course, we can coach you, troubleshoot, problem solve, course correct to keep you on the right path so that you can continue being a healthy person and you're not hitting those roadblocks where you feel defeated and like, well, I don't know why it's not working. And then you just give up. Right. So that's a really important component that's extremely helpful. So the Fit and Healthy for Life program is really this combination of fitness and nutrition. So in the fitness component, you're going to be a part of our Fit from Home workouts, which you've been a part of through this 2-week challenge. So we're really taking you from couch to confident in your workout routine. But we're also incorporating the core strength, the mobility, the proper form. And Andy very much is coaching you through that in the same way where it's like, do it this way. This is how you do it. This is how you activate your core. This is how you prevent injury. And he's making these workouts so that you can just show up. I had a conversation today with a woman who's going to be starting our program next week. And she's like, yeah, I have an elliptical in my basement and I have some free weights and I'll go down there and I'll, do some YouTube workouts or I'll do the elliptical. She's like, but I'm just like finding random things. Like, I don't know if it's the right thing to do. And then it's like, oh, I don't like this video. I'm going to go try a different one. And really that gets you to a place where you're not seeing results. So you're actually putting in effort, but you're not going to see progress from stuff like that, which is frustrating. And then you feel like, well, what's the point? Following an actual program is a game changer because it's expertly designed, it's a progressive series, and it's getting you results faster. So you're going to notice changes in your lean mass in your body over the course of that 12 weeks. And then with nutrition, we're really taking that guesswork out. We're helping, our busy minds have less mental energy put into this to where we are giving you the plan of action. We're helping you understand how to eat, what to buy, how to structure your day so that you can be successful and you're not constantly guessing whether this is a good choice or not. You just know what to do every day as a healthy person. So the 12-week program, we're really going to teach you that framework, not only to lose weight, but to be healthy, get your body back in balance, to have energy and to feel good. So what does this entail? So the first thing are weekly group coaching calls. And this is where we actually are coaching you and providing accountability. So everyone who's in the program is on a weekly live Zoom call, kind of like this. And it's usually in the evenings on Tuesday nights, and sometimes it's on Thursday. It depends on when everybody can make it. We try to be accommodating to everyone's schedule. But that's an opportunity for you to actually ask questions, get coaching. I can pull up your food logs and actually take a real-time look at it and give you feedback and why something's not working or what tweaks we need to make. And that's really valuable time for you to then stay on course. Because a lot of times people give up because they don't know why something's not working or why they're not losing weight that week. And so they stop doing what they're doing. So this is coaching you through and getting you to that point where you're seeing consistent results. There's also each week we have a different focus. They're pre-recorded nutrition and lifestyle modules. So this is really a deep dive into all the questions that I've gotten over the years from my clients about nutrition. Everybody wants to know about this and this and that. And I've put it into these modules. So it's not just a Q&A module, but I'm really doing it topic by topic. First, I walk you through my core method of eating. We spend a whole week on each of the 4 components so that you have a really solid foundation for how to eat, what to eat, when to eat. But then we look at other lifestyle factors that influence weight because we'd be joking ourselves if we thought weight was just about eating less, right? There's a lot more that goes to it. It's about getting rid of the sugar cravings. We have a whole module on that. Why you're craving sugar, what to do about it. We talk about mindful eating strategies. We talk about gut health. We talk about sleep and stress and how that impacts your weight. We talk about hydration and, how we should be drinking and what we should be drinking. We talk about eating around exercise time. So, all the things that you'd ever want to know about nutrition so that by the end of that 12 weeks, you know why you're doing what you're doing and you are motivated to keep doing it. So, you have that science backed information. And then, of course, I mentioned this, we have the 3 workouts per week with our Fit from Home program. So, these are follow along workouts you can do at home. You can start in the beginner series, you can start in the intermediate series, or you can start with our live virtual workouts, which are also sent recordings after we send the recording after the work. So you can do them on your own time. And then we get that coaching component, which is so important and so valuable. And honestly, we've done a couple of these programs now. It's just a really fun group that forms. Like it's like a little family that we get, and everybody's excited for each other and everybody's encouraging each other. And it's just a great positive space to be in where everybody's working towards common goals and everybody has, support for one another, which is so important to long-term success. If you want to make a big change, you need to plug in with people who are on the same page as you are and have the same goals as you are. Otherwise, it's really hard to do it on your own. So in addition, we're also going to be giving you meal plans, different recipes that go with that. Balanced, I've created some balanced day templates where it's like, here's a perfect day. Just follow this, right? If you don't want to have to think about it, it's perfectly balanced in macros, it's perfectly balanced in calories. Just do this, right? And that can sometimes be the easiest way to do it. But really, this isn't a type of diet plan where it's like, you have to eat exactly what I put on this meal plan and follow it to a T and don't ask questions. It's really about giving you ideas and empowering you to make the choices that are right for your body and within your food preferences, but sticking to the balance plate and sticking to the patterning throughout the day. So, like I've mentioned, putting energy into multiple things over time and listening to whatever everybody else is saying and all your friends and all these things and all these tips and tricks is honestly confusing and it takes a lot of mental energy. So, if you have anxiety every time you eat because you don't know if you're doing the right things and you don't know if it's getting you the results that you want, you're really wasting a lot of time and mental space. I had someone I met with recently, she had contacted me maybe 8 months ago. She was having some certain health issues. She was gaining weight and didn't know why. And I kind of talked to her for a little bit and she decided she didn't want to do it at that time. She didn't want to invest the money in meeting with me. And here we are 8 months later. She recontacted me because her doctor told her again, like, you need to meet with Laura. And here we are now meeting again. And honestly, it's going to change her life. I'm so glad she met with me because it is really the move that she needed to make. So it's like you can do it now or you can do it later, but you have to do it at some point. Otherwise, your body's just going to continue to go down the wrong path. It's not going to get better just because you want it to get better. And a lot of times we try to do it on our own or put energy into things that we think are going to help, but really we don't have any kind of plan. I was talking to someone else today about our 12-week program. She's like, stepped on the scale this morning. I'm at the highest weight I've ever been. I feel miserable. Like nothing, I'm working out consistently. Nothing I'm doing is helping with the weight loss. And, she's kind of back and forth about our program because she is scared really for herself if she can stick with it. And I was like, if you don't do it, what's your plan? Like, what's your backup plan? If this is a no for you, then what's the option? Because you're really miserable and unhappy. So, what's plan B? And she's like, I honestly don't have one. Like, this really is, I know this is what I have to do if I want to be successful long term. So, that's kind of the question you have to ask yourself. Like, if I don't make the jump and really trust myself that I can become that healthy person, because ultimately, you can say, I don't want to spend money, I don't have time. You can make all those excuses, right? But the reality is, we can almost always make the money and make the time if we really want to. But it often comes down to a lack of trust in ourselves that we can truly change. And change is hard. There's a lot to work through there, for everybody when we're going through any type of change. But that's why, if you're going to make a change, having support and having the right information and having a plan around you is going to be your best bet for making that change long term versus just trying another app or trying another, random program or trying to just do things on your own. It's not going to give you the same kind of results that you're looking for. So really, when you're not investing in yourself it's costing you a lot. It's costing your health. And that's another thing I was talking to that woman about this morning. I was like, you're like still healthy. Like she just turned 50. I was like, you're still healthy right now. Other than like she has a couple things going on, but I was like, there's going to be a point when this starts affecting your health, right? You're going to start having some pretty negative consequences if you don't take action now. And preventative medicine is always better than reactive medicine, where we have to fix the problems that have gone awry in your body. If we can correct it in advance, you're going to be so much better off. You can avoid the surgeries and medications. So people think like, oh, eating healthy is expensive, or oh, it costs too much to, do a health program or something. But if you actually add up the wasted time, the medications, the hospital stays and surgeries that people end up having to do, the joint replacements they end up having to have because they didn't take care of their bodies, the money from that and the time from that and the stress from that is not worth it, right? It's not worth it. If there is something you could do about it, wouldn't you want to do that, right? And I think for me, that's my motivation. I've seen too many clients and too many loved family members go through things that I personally never want to go through, right? So I know that there's things I can do to prevent those, a lot of those things. And I'm sure as heck going to do it because I want to feel good and I want to be healthy for as many years as I possibly can be. So I've given you guys a lot of info about the 12-week program. If this is like a yes for you, you're like, I'm ready to take that leap and be a healthy person. We don't want anyone in this program who we're having to drag into this program, like talk you into it, right? We want this to be a yes for you because you genuinely believe that I can be a healthy person. Like, it's okay. I'm not there yet, but I want to get there and I'm ready to make that leap. And I don't know exactly what this is going to entail, but I'm going to do it and I'm going to trust and I'm going to do the things and I'm going to see what happens with my body. And you will totally be blown away by how much your body can change in just 12 weeks. Not just physically. Yes, you'll absolutely have physical changes, but mentally too, how you rework your mind. So if that's where you are and you're ready to jump in, we would love to have you. We have a couple spots left, just a couple. We're filling up fast, actually. A lot of people have jumped in the last couple days, but we are starting next week. And our first call will be next week to kind of officially kick off the program. But send us a message. You can either email us, Andy and Laura Berger at gmail.com, or you can send us a message on Facebook or Instagram. You can message the word fit or just say, like, hey, I'm interested in your program. Give me more details. And we'll give you all the details on getting signed up and getting registered and answer any other questions that you have. So we've seen a lot of lives and transformations through this program. This is why we do this. This is like our dream program. We've taken Andy's 20 plus years of training experience and all my experience counseling clients and nutrition over the years, and we've really brought it together. And so what we know gets people results. And that's why we've done this, because we love it. We love helping people and we love really being able to help you change your life and keep your body healthy and really just live the life that you want to live. So, with that, I will end our Healthy Bodies Challenge. You guys will still have access to the modules after the program, but we will be closing down the Fit from Home. If you want to stay a member for of Fit from Home, reach out to us too, because that is still available. So Fit from Home workouts are always going on. We've been doing them for the last 4 years. It's been amazing for us with the live and on-demand workouts. So go ahead and send us a message for that too. If you're like, I want to stay a part of Fit from Home, I've started a great fitness routine and I want to keep that going, we will help you get set up with that as well. All right, I will leave you with that. Go and be healthy, go and be well, go and be healthy people, and I will see you guys soon.